Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk after the first night of waking up with the doll at my bedside, I couldn't fall asleep again. The next day, I was exhausted and anxious. I tried to convince myself that I had either sleepwalked or had accidentally moved the doll without remembering. But deep inside, a lingering fear was growing. Emily's porcelain eyes seemed to still be imprinted in my memory, as if they knew what I was thinking. I decided to do things more carefully. I found a sturdy wooden box with an iron lock and a small padlock. I wrapped the doll in several layers of cloth, placed it in the box, locked it, and took it down to the basement. Before closing the basement door, I lit a candle and said a few words to calm my mind. I didn't believe in spirituality, but at that time, I had no other way to feel safe. That night, I tried to go to bed early. I left the nightlight on, put on headphones, and played some soft music to lull me to sleep. Around 3 in the morning, however, I was awakened by a slight noise, a scuffling sound, as if something was being dragged across the wooden floor. My heart was pounding. I opened my eyes and turned my head toward the foot of the bed. A chill ran down my spine. Emily was there again, sitting upright, her head tilted to the left, her eyes staring straight at me. What scared me more was that her hands were covered in dust and dirt, as if she had crawled out of some dark place. I jumped out of bed, turned on all the lights in the house. I ran down to the basement. The box was still there, wide open. The lock was broken, lying on the floor beside me. I gasped, not believing my eyes. There was no sign of forced entry. All the doors were locked from the inside. So how had Emily gotten out of the box, climbed the stairs, and returned to my bed? I began to look for more obvious signs. I set up a camera in the bedroom, pointing at the foot of the bed. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the living room and watched the live feed from the camera on my phone. At 2:43, the screen blurred for a few seconds, and then I saw that Emily was no longer in the same place. I rushed up to the room. She was there, exactly as before. I checked the video recording, but there was only static, and then the doll had changed position. There was no image showing movement, no sound, no mechanical movement. It was like ... teleportation. From that day on, I started having recurring dreams. In the dream, I was standing in the middle of a white room. In front of me was a little girl with long hair covering her face, wearing a white dress, standing with her back turned. The girl did nothing, just stood still. When I approached, she slowly turned her head, and instead of a face, there was only a layer of torn skin, blood dripping onto the white tile floor. I screamed and woke up in a cold sweat. I told my best friend Thomas, who was not superstitious, but after listening, he advised me to find a psychic. Thomas gave me the address of a psychic named Eliza. She lived about an hour's drive from the city, and specialized in helping people with paranormal phenomena. At first I was hesitant, but after a few sleepless nights, I decided to give it a try. When I brought the doll to Eliza, she didn't seem surprised. She just looked at it for a moment and then nodded slightly. She said that there was a spirit residing in the doll, not a demon, but a trapped entity with heavy resentment that was trying to attach itself to a human. She said that if I didn't quickly cut the connection, the spirit would gradually invade my sleep, and then my body. I shuddered I asked her if there was any way to stop it. Eliza just said, "Don't leave it alone. Don't leave it near a mirror. And never leave it at the end of the bed again." That night, I put the doll in the storage room, where there was no mirror and every crack was sealed. But I didn't know that the worst was still waiting for me ahead. I woke up in the middle of the night. In my head was a small whisper, like a lullaby in a child's voice. The sound rang out steadily, penetrating every corner of the room. I didn't turn on the light, didn't dare to move. In the darkness, I felt someone standing at the head of the bed, staring at me. And then, a childish voice spoke, right next to my ear, as light as the wind. "Daniel, don't leave me, I jumped up, my heart pounding like a drum. There was no one in the room, but the storage room door was open, and under my bed there was a trail of dust, as if something had quietly crawled out of the room and waited for a chance to appear. Please follow episode 3, The Neighbor and the Bloody History.